The cosmic clerical error. JAXA 7 hated the night shift. As a Class II administrative processor for the Galactic Council's Integration Division, the gelatinous being spent most nights mindlessly approving or rejecting applications from across the known universe. Tonight was no different. 57 star systems requesting trade route adjustments, 12 planets appealing habitat conservation designations, and one particularly annoying claim from the Fraxian Hive about mining rights in the Cygnus arm. JAXA's 6 sensory stalks drooped with fatigue as another notification pinged through the neural interface. The administrator's translucent body rippled with annoyance. Not another one. JAXA gurgled, absorbing the incoming data stream. Application for full council membership. From some backwater system. Where even is Sol? The data packet contained a bizarre transmission. Some sort of dramatized communication about a peaceful federation of planets. The Council's translation matrix had somehow categorized it as a formal application. JAXA should have flagged it for review, but it was nearly shift change. 17 more applications waited in the queue, and Supervisor Telk9 had already warned about JAXA's processing speeds. Primitive communication systems, minimal space travel, only one colonized world, barely qualifies, JAXA muttered, tentacles hovering over the decision matrix. But the automatic systems classified it as an application format, and technically they did broadcast it into space. With a dismissive ripple, JAXA pressed the approval glyph. The terminal flashed confirmation as the membership was automatically processed through all 7 approval layers, a feature designed to reduce bureaucratic bottlenecks for obvious admissions. Next, JAXA sighed, already forgetting about the insignificant planet called Earth. Senior Administrator Vrenick stared at the notification in horror, all 4 of her eye ridges raised in alarm. The council chamber behind her buzzed with concerned voices. "You processed OHAE." She hissed at JAXA, who seemed to shrink several centimeters under her gaze. "I just followed standard protocols." The junior administrator burbled. The system categorized it as an application. This planet hasn't even united under a single government. They're pre-contact. They still use combustion engines. Vrenick's scales flared crimson with stress. "Do you have any idea what you've done? Can't we just revoke the membership?" JAXA suggested hopefully. High Counselor Zentik glided forward, their crystalline form refracting light as they approached. "You know the bylaws, Administrator Vrenick. Section 9371C is quite explicit. Once membership is granted, it cannot be revoked unless the member violates galactic law or voluntarily withdraws." "They can't withdraw if they don't even know they're members," Vrenick muttered. "Then there is only one solution," Zentik declared. "We must inform them immediately. Prepare a contact delegation," Vrenick ordered, turning to her staff. "And someone find out everything we can about these humans." Dr. Maya Chen stared at the anomalous readings on her monitor at the Deep Space Listening Array in Chile. The signal pattern made no sense. A massive object had just entered Earth's orbit at impossible speeds before coming to a complete stop. "Director Alvarez, you need to see this," she said into her communicator, voice steady despite her racing heart. 20 minutes later, the control room was filled with scientists and military personnel. Director Alvarez leaned over her shoulder, face pale. "Are you absolutely certain these readings are accurate?" he asked. "I've run 3 diagnostic checks," Maya confirmed. "Something is in orbit around Earth, something big, and it's not one of ours." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Maya's colleague, Dr. Imran Khan, spoke first. "We're detecting a smaller object detaching from the main vessel. Based on trajectory, it's heading toward New York, specifically the United Nations building." General Rivera from the Joint Chiefs of Staff was already on the phone. "This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. We have confirmed first contact scenario in progress." Secretary General Amara Ose stood on the steps of the UN headquarters, surrounded by security personnel, diplomats, and military officers from a dozen nations. Despite the gravity of the moment, she maintained her composure, even as the sleek, silver craft descended from the sky with barely a sound, settling onto the plaza with impossible grace. For 30 seconds, nothing happened. Then, a seam appeared in the smooth hull, widening into an opening. A ramp extended to the ground. 3 figures emerged. The first appeared insectoid, with an iridescent exoskeleton and multiple limbs moving with precise coordination. Behind it came 2 beings that seemed to be made of living crystal, their forms constantly shifting and refracting light. The insectoid being spoke. Its voice translated perfectly into multiple human languages simultaneously, somehow audible to everyone present. "Greetings, citizens of Earth. I am Ambassador Galactic of the Galactic Council. We come to formally welcome Earth as the newest member of our interstellar community." Secretary General Osei's carefully prepared first contact speech died in her throat. She glanced at General Rivera, who looked equally confused. "I believe there must be some misunderstanding," she finally said. "Earth has not applied for membership to any galactic organization." The crystalline beings behind Ambassador Galactic began to emit high-frequency sounds. The ambassador's antennae twitched in what might have been confusion. "According to our records, Earth submitted an application through standard subspace channels exactly 3 cycles ago. It was processed and approved through all required protocols." General Rivera stepped forward. "With all due respect, Ambassador, humanity doesn't possess the technology to communicate through, what did you call it? Subspace channels. Perhaps if you would review the application with us," Osei suggested diplomatically. One of the crystal beings produced a device that projected a holographic display. The humans gasped collectively as they recognized the opening sequence of Stellar Horizons, a popular science fiction show that had been broadcasting for nearly a decade. That's a television show," Dr. Chen explained, having been rushed to New York as one of Earth's leading SETI researchers. "It's entertainment. Fiction. Fiction." Ambassador Galactic's translator couldn't quite convey the tone, but the rapid clicking of mandibles suggested distress. "You mean to say this was not an official application for council membership?" "Definitely not," General Rivera confirmed. The ambassador conferred briefly with the crystal beings before turning back to the humans. "This is most unfortunate. However, according to Council Bylaw 9371C, once membership is granted, it cannot be revoked unless the member violates council law or voluntarily withdraws. So what does this mean for Earth?" Secretary General Osei asked. "It means," Ambassador Galactic said, "that Earth is now officially the newest member of the Galactic Council, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities that entails." The news of humanity's accidental inclusion in an interstellar government spread across Earth like wildfire. Reactions ranged from celebration to panic. Religious institutions debated the theological implications, governments scrambled to form coalitions, and social media exploded with alien memes. In the White House Situation Room, President Larissa Reynolds faced her cabinet and newly appointed sinological advisors. "Give me the bottom line," she demanded. "What does council membership actually mean for Earth?" Dr. Chen, now serving as chief scientific liaison, cleared her throat. "According to the information provided by Ambassador Galactic, we now have access to council technologies, trade networks, and diplomatic channels. We also have a vote in council matters." "And the responsibilities?" the president pressed. "Resource quotas, adherence to council laws, approximately 27,000 regulations, and potential participation in council defense initiatives." General Rivera read from his tablet. "The translation team is still going through the details." Secretary of State Williams leaned forward. "Madam President, I believe we should establish a dedicated delegation to the council immediately. We need representatives there to protect Earth's interests while we figure this out." "Agreed," Reynolds nodded. "Dr. Chen, you'll head the science team. General Rivera will oversee security. And I want Secretary Williams to lead the diplomatic course. What about withdrawal? Asked the Vice President. Could we simply decline membership? Ambassador Galactic, who had been invited to the meeting, clicked his mandibles. It would be unprecedented. No species has ever rejected council membership once granted. The diplomatic repercussions would be significant and potentially dangerous. Dr. Chen added, "We're talking about civilizations thousands, maybe millions of years more advanced than us. Alienating them doesn't seem wise." President Reynolds stood, her decision made. "Then we accept this cosmic clerical error and make the best of it. Secretary Williams, assemble your team. You leave for the Galactic Council headquarters as soon as the ambassador's ship is ready." "Yes, Madam President." Williams nodded, already mentally preparing for the most important diplomatic mission in human history. On the other side of the galaxy, in a disciplinary hearing chamber, Junior Administrator Jaxa 7 quivered nervously before the Administrative Ethics Committee. "Due to your negligence," the committee head intoned, "you will accompany the Earth delegation as their administrative liaison. You will personally ensure their smooth integration into council affairs." Jaxa's gelatinous form nearly collapsed in despair. Babysitting primitives was the worst possible punishment. "And Jaxa," the committee had added, "try not to cause an interstellar incident this time." As Earth prepared its first official galactic delegation, no one, human or alien, could predict just how much chaos was about to unfold in the hallowed halls of the Galactic Council. Diplomatic disasters. Secretary Williams stared through the viewport as Ambassador Galactic's ship decelerated from what he had called fold space, a concept Earth's physicists were still struggling to comprehend. The massive structure before them defied description. A sprawling complex of interconnected rings, spheres, and crystalline towers floating in the void between stars. The central hub of the Galactic Council, Galactic announced with obvious pride. Home to representatives from over 10,000 species spanning 3 spiral arms of the galaxy. "It's incredible," Dr. Chen whispered, her scientific mind racing to understand the engineering principles at work. General Rivera remained stoic, but his white-knuckled grip on his seat betrayed his awe. How many beings lived there? Approximately 12 million permanent residents, with another 30 million transient visitors at any given time. Jaxa 7 provided, the gelatinous administrator still sulking about assignment to the human delegation. The Earth representatives, 12 humans carefully selected for their expertise in diplomacy, science, military strategy, and cultural exchange, tried to maintain their composure as the ship docked with one of the thousands of berths extending from the main structure. "Remember," Secretary Williams addressed his team, "we represent all of humanity now. Our actions here will shape Earth's relationship with the galactic community for generations to come." "No pressure," muttered Dr. Khan, the team's senolinguist. Ambassador Galactic's mandibles clicked in what they had come to recognize as amusement. "You will be fine. The Council has prepared accommodations suited to your physiological needs. We begin formal introduction proceedings tomorrow at the first rotation." "First rotation?" Dr. Chen inquired. "Ah, my apologies," Galactic said. "The Council operates on a standard time measurement independent of any member world's rotation. I believe in your terms, that would be approximately 6 Earth hours from now." "So much for jet lag adjustments," General Rivera sighed. The Earth delegation's first appearance before the Council Assembly was nearly a diplomatic catastrophe. As they entered the vast chamber, a cathedral-like space with thousands of different beings occupying tiered seating arranged by taxonomic classification, Secretary Williams reached out to shake hands with High Counselor Zentik as Earth protocol dictated. The crystalline being recoiled dramatically, emitting a high-pitched harmonic that instantly silenced the chamber. Security drones materialized from nowhere, surrounding the humans with humming energy fields. "What just happened?" Williams whispered, frozen in place. Jaxa 7 oozed forward hastily. "Physical contact with a crystallid is considered a grave insult. It implies you consider them solid-state matter rather than quantum-entangled consciousness. How was I supposed to know that? Williams hissed. It's in the Standard Council Etiquette Guide. JAXA gurgled accusingly. All 12,473 volumes. After profuse apologies and a formal cleansing ritual involving rare noble gases, the humans were allowed to continue. Dr. Chen accidentally caused another stir by maintaining eye contact with a delegation of voidwalkers, apparently challenging them to a territorial dispute according to their customs. By the time Secretary Williams delivered Earth's formal acceptance speech, the council chamber buzzed with whispered comments and translated side conversations. They're complete primitives. Did you know they still eat organic matter? I heard they sleep for a third of their life cycle. Can they even understand basic fifth-dimensional mathematics? Dr. Khan, whose enhanced translator picked up these comments, kept a diplomatic smile fixed on his face as he catalogued each insult. The humans quickly discovered their true status in the galactic hierarchy. Despite technically holding equal voting rights, Earth was relegated to the equivalent of the children's table, assigned quarters in a remote section of the hub, normally reserved for newly uplifted species, given observer status in most important committees, and generally patronized by the more established council members. They don't even try to hide their condescension. Dr. Chen complained during the delegation's private meeting in their quarters 3 days after arrival. The Ardelian representative patted me on the head today. Actually patted me on the head. The Morsaki ambassador asked if we'd invented the wheel yet. Dr. Khan added bitterly. General Rivera paced the room. It's worse than that. I've been reviewing the defense protocols we're now bound by. Earth is classified as a protected developmentally challenged world. We're essentially considered a wildlife preserve. They've already denied our request for faster-than-light technology. Williams noted, apparently, we need to evolve another 1,000 years before we're ready for it. JAXA 7, who had been quietly absorbing their complaints from a corner habitat pod, finally spoke up. You must understand, most council species have been spacefaring for millennia. Many achieved interstellar travel before your species had developed written language. That doesn't give them the right to treat us like children. Williams shot back. Actually, by council standards, you're children, JAXA replied simply. Promising children, perhaps, but children nonetheless. The room fell silent as the humans digested this uncomfortable truth. 2 weeks into their stay, the emergency alarms blared throughout the hub. The Earth delegation was escorted to a secure chamber where hundreds of representatives from various worlds were already gathered, their translators all chattering simultaneously. What's happening? Williams asked Ambassador Galactic, who had appeared beside them. A crisis conference has been called, the insectoid explained, antennae twitching with agitation. The Carfax Nebula has begun to collapse prematurely. 3 major transit routes will be disrupted, and 17 populated systems are at risk. The giant holographic display in the center of the chamber showed a swirling cloud of gas and stellar matter collapsing inward at an alarming rate. Various statistics and projections surrounded the image, most in measurement systems the humans couldn't comprehend. The evacuation will take at least 30 rotations, a bulbous gas field being announced from the speaker's platform. Even with all available ships, we cannot relocate the exenary colonies in time. The gravitational shear will tear their habitats apart in 26 rotations, another voice added. Dr. Chen had been studying the data silently, her brow furrowed in concentration. Finally, she approached Williams and whispered urgently in his ear. Williams raised his hand tentatively, unsure of the proper protocol. The chamber gradually fell silent as 10,000 alien eyes turned toward the human. The Earth delegation wishes to speak, Ambassador Galactic announced, mandibles clicking nervously. Williams nodded to Dr. Chen, who stepped forward. I believe we may have a solution you haven't considered, she began, her voice steady despite the scrutiny. What could primitives possibly contribute to stellar mechanics? Someone called out, triggering a wave of translated murmurs. Dr. Chen ignored the jibe. You're approaching this as an evacuation problem, but it's actually a timing problem. The data shows the nebula collapse is being accelerated by quantum resonance from the nearby pulsar PSSR 92. If you could temporarily alter that resonance, you would gain the extra time needed for evacuation. And how would you suggest we alter the quantum signature of a pulsar? Asked an elder crystallid, voice dripping with condescension. The same way we deal with destructive resonance on Earth, Dr. Chen explained. Create an equal and opposite vibration. Your fleet could position gravitic dampeners at these coordinates. She highlighted points around the pulsar on the holographic display, and generate a counter-resonance wave. The chamber erupted in discussion as the more scientifically minded species ran calculations. That could actually work, the crystallid admitted grudgingly. Where did you learn quantum harmonic theory? Ambassador Galactic asked Dr. Chen quietly. She smiled. I didn't, but I play the violin, and every musician understands how to cancel sound waves. The principle is the same, just on a quantum level. The counter-resonance operation was a complete success. The nebula's collapse slowed sufficiently to allow full evacuation of all affected systems, saving billions of lives. When the Earth delegation entered the council chamber the following day, they were greeted with a new respect. Perhaps we have underestimated our newest members, High Counselor Zentik admitted during the formal commendation ceremony. You have demonstrated that different evolutionary paths can lead to valuable perspectives. Secretary Williams accepted the commendation graciously. Earth may be young by council standards, but humanity has always excelled at finding unconventional solutions to problems. We look forward to contributing our unique viewpoint to council matters. As the ceremony concluded, representatives from previously dismissive species approached the humans with new curiosity. The Ardelians offered trade agreements for Earth art and music, fascinated by human creativity. The Morseki proposed a cultural exchange program. Even the aloof crystallids requested human assistance with a quantum resonance issue in their home system. I believe your status has been upgraded, JAXA 7 informed them later, gelatinous form rippling with what might have been amusement. Earth is now classified as an emerging innovation nexus rather than a developmentally challenged world. That's progress, I suppose. Williams laughed. More importantly, JAXA continued, the Technology Sharing Committee has approved limited access to interstellar drive systems for Earth. You'll be building your own ships within a decade. General Rivera let out a low whistle. That's a game changer. There's one more thing, JAXA added, somewhat reluctantly. The Administrative Ethics Committee has reassigned me. Apparently, my error in processing Earth's application is now considered a fortuitous administrative insight. They're taking credit for your mistake. Dr. Khan asked incredulously. Welcome to bureaucracy, JAXA rippled. It transcends feces. 6 months after first contact, Secretary Williams stood before the United Nations General Assembly back on Earth, delivering his report on humanity's new place in the cosmos. The road ahead will not be easy, he concluded. We remain technological infants in a community of ancient civilizations, but we have already proven that humanity has something unique to offer: our creativity, our different perspective, and our ability to find simple solutions to complex problems. The Galactic Council accepted us by mistake, President Reynolds added, joining him at the podium. But I believe we will make them glad of that error in the years to come. In the back of the assembly hall, Ambassador Galactic's mandibles clicked in what humans now recognized as approval. The insectoid diplomat sent a private message through his neural interface to High Counselor Zentik. You were right. They are chaotic and unpredictable, but there is something special about these humans. They see patterns we miss, think in ways we cannot. Perhaps this mistake will prove to be one of the Council's greatest discoveries. On the other side of the galaxy, Junior Administrator JAXA 7, now promoted to Senior Cultural Integration Specialist, reviewed applications from 100 Earth universities requesting Council knowledge exchanges. The administrator's gelatinous form rippled with what might have been pride. Sometimes, JAXA reflected, the greatest discoveries in the universe came from the most unlikely errors. Humans had a term for it: serendipity. The cosmos, it seemed, had a sense of humor after all.